My name is Mikey Podina. I'm from Tooele, Utah, and this is my second semester. Really felt like the Lord was placing it on my heart and was not really being obedient to it, and He just would not leave me alone until I finally agreed and came out here. This place was a big shock to me. Really just was able to be myself and not feel weird for loving Jesus. Monday morning routine for Mikey looks like, well, it kind of depends if I have morning dish team that day. But if I don't, then just wake up, give me a good hour for my Devo, and just spend my time with the Lord and in worship and prayer and reading the Word. And after that, I usually have enough time to just get a little breakfast in, usually a little bagel or something, just something a little light to keep me going, and get to Chuck tracks. Start at 8 in the morning, and we listen to Chuck Smith's recordings through his C2000 series, and basically he's going through the entire Bible, and all the books that we don't go through live teachers, then we go through Chuck Smith, and it's really cool to even though he's gone, we still have his tapes and we're still listening to his tapes. So, with the original but Calvary Chapel members, went through, we basically have that exact same fellowship and discipleship through Chuck Smith himself. Cool. So it's really cool. Yeah, and then we go to Romans. We get like a little 30-minute break. A lot of people either get a snack or fill up their water or just spend some time with the Lord. But usually I'm just walking around, making sure everybody's all good and just hanging out, having a good time with people. Then we go to Romans class, which is taught by David Enos, amazing teacher. And dude, right now it's just so amazing. Just chapters 8 and 9, it was amazing. Then after that, then we have lunch, which is really cool because we all gather everybody together, and whenever it's time to get lunch, then we all pray together right before we go and get lunch. After lunch, then we have another 2-hour class. I think right now we switched it to Bob Wagner, which is he's going through the book of Matthew right now. And dude, I thought Matthew was the easy book to go through, but Bob Wagner's just blowing my mind. Yeah, and because he's also Jewish too, so he knows the traditions and just all the little things that you just would so easily pass over. So you're really getting poured in by an amazing teacher there. Yeah.
That's great.
After that, then we have a little an hour in the break. Usually, I spend that getting some rest, whether that be in the Lord or just taking a nap.
Yeah.
And then after that, then we do have servanthood. And servanthood on Mondays, it's actually a 4-hour servanthood time. And I'm here at CBI, so I help clean the facility here, whether that be showers or bathrooms or the hallways, mopping floors, anything basically that needs cleaning here, honestly. And it's really a sweet time to just kind of get away from, the huge lessons and just going through the Bible all day long, and just getting, time to reflect and really meditate and digest the Word that you were just poured into. So it's really cool to get that time with the Lord. We do have a little 30-minute break in between for dinner, but then right after dinner, then we get back to it for those last 2 hours. And then after that kind of finishes off the day. But we do worship Monday night right after servanthood, so which goes on I think between 9 and 10. So yeah, it's a really cool way to end off the day. Yeah, servanthood has played a huge role in my walk with the Lord, because I really feel like I was almost getting puffed up with knowledge and really feeling overconfident in myself. And not only is servanthood a humbling experience, but truly to reflect what the Lord is trying to teach you and show you, like, hey, like you got to continue to be a servant of all. And it really shows you that like not only is your mind working 24/7, but you're also moving physically and trying to serve everybody as to your best ability. And serving here, honestly, has been a huge blessing for me, more than the people that I'm serving, because I notice things, and instead of just doing my job, because at first I would just do my job as fast as possible and get it done with. But now I notice things, and it's like, whenever I clean the showers, it's like, oh, well, this spot, I'm not really supposed to clean this, but let me help out my brothers and give them a clean shower. So like the last, I think, couple of days, I spent deep cleaning the showers, and dude, I really didn't have to, but I really enjoyed that, you know, and
that's sweet.
just being able to give them a clean shower. It felt amazing, you know. Tuesday is pretty cool because we recently stopped doing chuck tracks in the morning. So now class just starts at 10 a.m. So really you have all this time to basically do whatever you want. If you want to catch up on sleep, you can catch up on sleep. However, what I've really found has been really cool lately is going down to the coffee shop every Tuesday morning and really just getting a coffee and spending that time with the Lord. And the Lord has really been blessing not only me, but the people that I'm surrounded with too. You know, to be in that, you know, to leave CBI, because I feel like CBI could be, you know, a protective bubble in a way for us Christians, you know, where you're able to come here and love Jesus as much as you know, you desire. You know, the closer you get to Jesus, the closer he'll get to you. But to leave CBI and leave that bubble, you get a little taste of what the real world is. So I love going to you know, Frontier down the street and just opening up my Bible, and you see it. You know, you get stares, and sometimes people walk up to you, and it's just amazing. So, you know, I love to just, you know, spend that time with that Lord there in a public place. Then after that, then we do have another 2-hour class from 10 to 12. And then after that, we go into lunch. We pray and have lunch with all of our CBI family. And it's so cool, even just having lunch with everybody, you know, just because you're surrounded by 60 other students, you know, that are on fire for the Lord, and you're really doing life with these people for the next 10 months. So the people around you play a big role here at CBI. It's that iron sharpening iron is what the Bible talks about. And, you know, a fellow brother will completely do that. You know, even if you know, you're getting weary and doing good, a brother will come along and just encourage you in that and help you just push on and keep going. So it's really encouraging to really, you know, sit down and talk to your brothers or, you know, sisters, and really get to see how the Lord is speaking to them and moving in their lives. Dude, Wednesdays are like my favorite days. You know, you wake up in the morning, you got Pastor Chuck teaching you, going through a book of the Bible, and you get a good hour and a half with Pastor Chuck there. You have that little 30-minute break before we get into Revelation with Pastor John Milhouse. And Pastor John Milhouse is an amazing, phenomenal teacher. And just being able to go through the book, such a hefty book, with such an experienced teacher like that is truly a blessing. And dude, that's where I've been getting my meat right now from. So it truly is a blessing. Yeah, and then we have that lunch break again at 12. But this is where the fun part comes in. After 12, we have a little break before we head to the church. So you could really, you know, get a lot of things done in that break. But I personally like to just get ready, spend some time with the Lord, because we have our ministries, which is really cool. You know, here at CBI, we all get split up depending on wherever you feel like you're called, but also where they truly need help and they feel like you'll be a good fit. So last semester, I was actually put on Wednesday night greeting, and I'll tell you, you know, it seems boring up front, but the Lord was just ministering to me in so many ways through that one ministry, and it truly was a blessing to truly shake a hand with every person walking in through those doors. And, you know, the Lord really put on my heart that, hey, like, some of these people are walking in, and this is the only human contact they have a week. So as they're coming in, you know, I'm gonna give them a smile and truly share the joy of the Lord that I have. And dude, the Lord has just been blessing it. You know, everybody comes in and you really build connections with them, you know, showing like, hey, like, you truly care, and that you just have a love, and that you're separated from the world, honestly, because that's what Jesus does to us. You know, he'll sanctify us and just set us apart, and people will definitely be able to see that. This semester, I've been put on youth group, so high school room, and dude, it is amazing. I love those guys. You know, I see those guys as family, and it's so cool just to you know, do life with them. in general, but it's amazing to be able to pour out what you're getting poured into. Monday through Wednesday, you're getting poured in through amazing teachers. So to have that break in the middle and really pour out is a blessing, because you're getting filled up. But if you don't have an outlet, then where's it going? So it's so cool to be filled with the Spirit and then pour out into somebody else. And that's truly a blessing. We have an amazing youth group teacher, JJ Brock, shout out him. Dude, and he's a phenomenal Bible teacher, and he's going through the book of Romans right now. And dude, I see these kids, and some of them, they have a heavy weight on their shoulders. And just knowing that I've seen what the Lord could do in my life and do to them, and it's so cool just to go up to them and say, hey, like, do you need prayer? And being led by the Spirit in that. And people would tell you, like, yeah, dude, I've been struggling. And just being able to pray for them and pour out and show them, like, hey, Jesus is the one that could take that off of you is truly a blessing. So block classes are Thursday and Fridays. They are from 9 on Thursday. They start at 9 a.m. on Thursday. And we have a little break ending at 12 for lunch. And then we get right back into it at 2. And that goes on until 5. So we have a nice little 2-hour lunch break to, you can either go out and spend some time with the people around you, spend some time with the Lord. But my favorite thing with these block classes is spending time with the pastors, because you see these pastors, they come out from all around the world. And they're all phenomenal Bible teachers. And they, most of them are from Calvary chapels, but some of them are even evangelists and from other amazing pastors all around the world. A couple, we had David Guzik, we've had Don McClure, and dude, like, all these people, are what we would call legends in the faith. And it's so cool to be being poured in by them. So really my favorite would be to, during that break, you really get to ask them the questions that have been placed on your heart, like the ones that you feel like, hey, like, is it wrong for me to ask this? And dude, you just see that, time and time again, the Lord will put those questions on your heart for a reason. And, the answer will be a lot sweeter than what you think.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's cool, so cool. And so that's a Thursday. And then after 6, or after 5, sorry, then we'll have dinner, and then we'll go into servanthood for the last 2 hours and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Sundays, bro, yes. So Sundays is a blessing. The entire day just feels like you're just walking step with step by Jesus, and really doing your Devo in the morning changes everything, absolutely everything. So, I have to hit that Devo, especially on Sundays. That's the one day that I know, like, hey, if I hit my Devo on Sunday, the Lord will absolutely bless it. And not saying, like, if you miss your Devo, like, the Lord is going to be angry. But, if you put in effort, 100% the Lord will bless that. And just see, because the closer you draw to Him, the closer He'll draw to you. Mm-hmm. So I wake up in the morning, hit my Devo, and then I get ready for Sunday morning service. So here at Joshua Springs, we have 2 morning services, actually. We have a 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. And the first 9 a.m., I'm actually able to sit through the entire service. So that's wherever I'm able to really, be filled in by Pastor BJ. We have an amazing worship team, and just amazing time of a church body fellowship, and just being able to serve the Lord with not only my ministry now, but last semester I actually had the toddler room. And so after that 9 a.m. service, I would go into the toddler room and just pour out into them and truly just play with them and have fun and show them, like, hey, like, we could have fun as Christians. It's not all just boring and gloomy and having to act all righteous all the time. We could really like let loose with these kids. And I'll tell you, man, I've been beaten up over the head with the Legos countless times, but it truly is a blessing. Especially my favorite days were being able to teach, and you would think that, toddlers, they can't retain much, but you'll be surprised. I remember this one time I spent, asking the Lord, hey, Lord, I really want you to speak to these children, because a lot of times it could be a little crazy in the toddler room. And He really filled me up with His Holy Spirit, and we were going through God's creation. and really showing them that God is real and he's living and he created all things. This was around Thanksgiving time, and we had a little arts and craft for the kids, and they were just showing things that they were grateful for. And it was so cool to see that they retained that information from the teaching and they wrote it down on the things that they were grateful for. So it was truly a blessing, and just to see God move, even in 2-year-olds, as young as 2 years old, they retain that information. So it's not pointless. The word will not return void. Yeah. So it's so cool. This semester, however, they bumped me up from Wednesday greeting to Sunday greeting, which I guess is like the next step. There's definitely more people. So having to memorize names is a little bit crazy, but it is totally worth it. And, I really love spending the extra couple seconds, truly asking them like how they're doing, because like I said, this is like the one time a week that people might be coming in, that they don't really have human contact. So, just how you doing and a handshake and a smile, it goes a long way. And you'll be surprised that, a lot of them, they just want to have a good conversation and really talk about the Lord. And this is the one place that they're able to do it. Yeah, or they feel confident enough or bold enough to do it. So it's so cool. I love taking those extra seconds just to truly dig into their life and see like how they're doing and how the Lord is speaking to them. So I'll greet, and as service is going on, we'll pray for the offering, and I'm actually able to go around and collect the offering, and it's actually a really cool experience and humbling experience, showing that, hey, like the people's heart, they're there, and showing that that money is not their idol, and showing that they're giving it all up, trusting the Lord is truly amazing. So it could be a little scary at times walking around with the bag, but it truly is a blessing for the people giving, So that truly is a blessing. And then instead of sitting in for the second service, I actually like to go help out with the junior high as well. So that part's really cool. I talked to Blake and Dawson in the junior high room, and they said that it would be okay for me to skip out on second service because I already got poured into the first service. So they allowed me to go to the junior high, and dude, it's so cool just seeing the junior highs, the way that they worship and they teach, and just the little games that you're able to interact with them and truly build that connection with. So it's so cool. After that, then you come back to CBI. We all have lunch together, everybody talks about their ministries and how it went, and it truly is a blessing. Sometimes we go outside in the courtyard, have a little gathering of fun game of spike ball, or you can just spend that time taking a nap and truly getting refreshed. But this is where the rest comes in. So Sunday nights, we have a 6 o'clock service that has blessed every single CBI student that I have met. And it was so cool being a second semester and telling the first semesters what it's really like. Like people were telling me like, dude, like, it's kind of late. Why are we even here? Why do we have church for 3 times in one day? And I told them like, hey, live in the now, be here, because if you're not here, you're going to miss out on the rest and what God's trying to tell you. And I had those same kids after their first Sunday night experience come back to me in tears, and they're telling me, thank you, man, I needed that. Yeah, if I had any final words, it would be that this was the greatest decision I've ever made, was to truly listen to the Lord and follow him, to drop everything and leave my old life behind and truly press forward to the calling that he has for me. And if you are feeling like you want to grow closer to the Lord and be built up with the people around you and become the family that we have here, what are you waiting for?